pedestrian-oriented commercial neighborhoods were an important part of how Richland was developed during the 1940s. But as Richland grew, so too did the distances citizens needed to travel to find the services they needed. However, beginning in the 1990s, the city recognized that to have successful long-term growth would have to look back to its roots to change the face of Richland.
It was 1992 when the city worked to develop a plan for the redevelopment of public infrastructure in the Parkway, Uptown Shopping Center, and streets within the Central Business District. Recent road projects in the CBD include Stevens Drive, Wellesian Way, and Van Giesen. The next step in the plan is the reconstruction of Lee Street. While the project will improve pedestrian safety, the city also believes it will help facilitate economic growth.
Richland's Central Business District is comprised of 4 distinctive areas: the Parkway, the Uptown, the Medical, and the Government districts. Collectively, these areas make up Richland's downtown and are where the city has its highest concentration of commercial and office uses. Beginning in the 1990s, council and staff recognized that to have successful long-term growth, they would have to develop plans, zoning codes, infrastructure improvements, and work with community partners to change the face of Richland. The Central Business District is the key to this success.
We're really trying to revitalize the downtown sort of one corridor at a time. And we started somewhat modestly on Stevens Drive about 2 years ago, where we changed the lane configuration. It's part of a scheduled plan to tackle the redevelopment of the Central Business District, sort of one street at a time.
The reconstruction of Lee Boulevard follows an ambitious plan aimed towards increasing pedestrian traffic, improving pedestrian safety, and beautifying the area. Following the advice of a consultant who determined many of the 5-lane streets in Richland are overbuilt, the number of lanes on Lee will be reduced to a 3-lane section where you have 2 lanes in each direction with a center turn lane. The outside lanes will be converted into a combined biking and parking lane. The intersection crosswalks have been designed to reduce the length in which pedestrians have to walk to cross the street. To accomplish this, the curb will extend out into the bike lane, shortening the distance you needed to walk by 12 feet. Another big change along Lee will be the addition of numerous trees that will provide color, shape, beauty, and shade to an otherwise concrete jungle. Many business owners are pleased with the direction the city is steering development on Lee and believe the improvements to pedestrian safety and comfort will go a long way towards getting residents inside their doors.
It's been my belief that when you get into places where you can increase the pedestrian traffic, people are more likely to go from shop to shop. You know, if you're just driving down to a place you want to go, you drive down, you park, you go into the building, you come out, you get in your car, you drive away. If you find it more comfortable to walk up and down the street, you might walk into that place that you've never walked in before.
Richland is taking an "if you build it, they will come" approach on Lee Boulevard. The city wants this corridor and others within the Central Business District developed in a more urban fashion and includes some housing choices in a multifamily setting. However, redevelopment in an area full of privately owned property is challenging for any local government, and this is certainly the case along Lee Boulevard. Every parcel along Lee is privately owned except a small city-owned parking lot located near 3 Margaritas. This means the city alone cannot develop vacant lots and empty buildings. That is left up to the landowners. Still, the city must take an active role in encouraging growth in the Central Business District. Recent zoning code changes now encourage the development of taller buildings and require new buildings to be placed closer to the sidewalk to create a better pedestrian environment.
While we don't control any of the property, we do control how property is developed by private owners. So we've amended our land use regulations to encourage the development of this corridor and others in the Central Business District that's consistent with our master planning.
Understanding that Lee is a major thoroughfare, staff conducted numerous traffic counts to ensure they are not creating a congestion problem by reducing traffic flow from 5 lanes to 3. The construction on Lee is just a piece of the city's transportation plan that includes the future extension of Stevens Drive southbound to tie into Wellesian Way and eventually Dupertail. The big picture is all these street reconstruction projects are part of a plan that gives people the opportunity to share the load of traffic throughout Richland.
The city's also investing in infrastructure in the area so that we have the correct pipe sizes and capacities for water, sewer, power, irrigation, etc. And recently the city made a major investment in the substation in front of me here to install a new transformer that's intended to accommodate the growth of Cadillac and other uses within the Central Business District. So the city's taking a very holistic approach in how we want to see the area redevelop, And we're looking at all areas where we have control in the hopes that private reinvestment will follow.
It's exciting to see the vision staff and citizens have for Richland taking shape. This design stops at Jadwin Street, so no changes are planned for the roundabout in the Richland Parkway. The new and improved Lee Street will be completed before school resumes in the fall. The project has an estimated $900,000 price tag, with $200,000 provided by federal transportation safety dollars. The remainder is from the city's street overlay budget.